Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison and today I am doing my reading update for the week. So we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it and not take a lot of time jabbering like I normally do. So this past week has been a very interesting week as far as reading goes. I started school with my kids on Monday, or like last week. I'm talking about the week that just happened. I always forget to preface by saying this is the week that just happened. So here we are talking about the first week of August and all of the things that I read during that week. So this week has been interesting. Like I just said, I started school with my kids on Monday, so we've been adjusting to a new, more rigorous routine. I have a lot less time to read than I did before, even though I'm not really reading less than I did because of the times that I typically read during the day. I guess I am reading a little bit less during the day because in the morning before my kids get up, I'm getting stuff around for the school day. So I am reading a little bit less, but that doesn't really seem to be bothering how many books I'm getting through, which is very interesting. So this kind of wraps up the previous week and the weekend that is attached to that week. So I think it's July 31st through August, what's the date? The 7th or whatever. So that's the week that I'm talking about. I feel like I should put a calendar up here and highlight the days that I'm talking about so you guys are not confused. Or maybe you just don't care. I don't really know. Let me know if you care about that, because if you don't, I'll stop trying to explain it because it's confusing the crap out of me. It might be confusing you too. So here is what I got through the previous week. And the first book that I finished was The Maiden by Micheline Ryckman. I'm literally not going to spend a ton of time talking about this book because I just spent a bunch of time talking about it on my July wrap-up video, so I'm going to not speak up much about it here other than it was okay. It's a book that I read and it counts towards my Goodreads goal. That's basically all I have to say about it. I would probably give it a low 2.5, 3-star rating, somewhere in between there. I had high expectations for it and it just didn't live up. So if you want to know a little bit more thoughts about this book, then you can watch my July wrap up. Other than that, I really don't have anything else to say about it. So we're gonna move on. The second book that I finished reading last week was Golden Sun. I know in my August TBR I had said that this book was going to carry over into August, and it definitely did. I just finished it up probably a couple of days ago, and let's see. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It is a reread. It is adult science fiction, and I freaking love it so much. Pierce Brown is one of my all-time favorite authors. I will literally read everything that he writes, even if I'm not interested in it, because I love his writing so much. This is the second novel in his original Red Rising trilogy. I know that now the series has been extended out to 6 books and it's called the Red Rising Saga, but the original trilogy is Red Rising, Golden Sun, and Morning Star. This is the second novel of those 3 books, and I really like this one. There is so much stuff that goes on in this book, so much plot development, world development, character progression. There's just a ton of stuff. I will love Darrow until my dying day. I just can't get enough of this series, and this is actually, the Red Rising series is literally the series that had me falling in love with sci-fi, because I was not a sci-fi reader. I kind of wanted to stick my toes in the genre a little bit, but it wasn't until I read Red Rising that I was like, oh my gosh, I freaking love science fiction. Why haven't I been reading this my entire life? Why have I been relegating myself to fantasy? What the heck is wrong with me? I don't even understand. So I will be forever thankful to this series for helping me, introducing me to and helping me fall in love with the sci-fi genre as a whole. I just really like it. Now, do I like every sci-fi book I pick up? Not always, but I really, really like this series. So I'm not gonna do a book review or anything for these because it's I've reread it already and I don't think it's fair. Me and my husband are actually talking about doing book talks on my channel. Listen to me saying our channel already. He does not have time to do booktube videos with me all the time. So We might in the future be doing book talks where we talk about books or series that we have read. So he's read Red Rising and I have read it, and I was like, you know what, it would be really fun if we just like sat down in front of the camera and just talked about our favorite books. I just think that would be a lot of fun. You guys might not be interested in it, but I think it's fun to watch book talk videos because you get a lot of different perspectives on stuff. Like even me and my husband have different perspectives on stuff. Like he likes different characters than I do. Like he likes Severo and I kind of really don't like Severo. I know that's like a touchy topic because lots of people love Severo, but he's kind of weird and that's okay. It's fine. I accept that. But I just think it would be a lot of fun to see, you know, how our thoughts differ on it, even though like we live together and we know each other pretty well and stuff like that. So that might be a thing that happens in the future. We will have to see. So I do have one book that I am in the middle of, and I was supposed to finish reading it this week and I just haven't been in the mood, so please don't yell at me. The book that I am currently reading is Bring Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel. This is the second novel in the Wolf Hall trilogy, and I have made it this far. So if I read like a few more pages, I would be halfway through it. I am enjoying this book. I just don't think I'm in the mood for historical fiction right at this moment. This book is not very fast-paced, and I have been reading quite a few books lately that have been pretty fast-paced, like Red Rising is pretty fast-paced, and I've really been in a sci-fi mood, so I am still reading this book. I'm just not quite as motivated to pick it up throughout the day or like when I normally read, which is in the morning or in the evening before and after my children go to sleep. So, or before my kids wake up in the morning and and after they go to sleep at night. So I don't dislike this book. I actually rather quite enjoy reading it. It is set in Tudor England, so like the 1530s of medieval England, and it follows the life and times of Thomas Cromwell. It is historical fiction. I won't say it's like, you know, it can't really be 100% historically accurate because, you know, we didn't have, you know, Facebook, so like, you know, he couldn't just post whatever the heck he was doing every single minute of the day on Facebook. So, but I do believe it is historically accurate as in context and writing style, so I really appreciate that about these books. I really liked Wolf Hall, the first book. Like, I did a pretty lengthy review for that book. But this one just isn't having any, like, allure or a pull for me right now. So I am probably going to pause this or read it, you know, not try to get through it quite so quickly. And I think that might be another reason why I'm not really enjoying it as much, is because I'm trying to force myself to read it when I don't really want to. So what I plan to do instead is pick up a different science fiction book, and I can't even decide which one of those I want to read. So maybe I am in a reading slump. I don't even know. That would kind of suck. But I am in the middle of this book, and I should have probably finished it already, but I just haven't made myself read very much this week. I mean, I did start, you know, teaching my kids, so I have a second grader and a kindergartner now, and holy crap, teaching is a lot. So it takes up probably like the first half of our day. Sometimes we go past lunchtime, but for the most part, we've both been enjoying it, even if it is a lot of work on my end. I mean, it should be because I'm the teacher. But so far the kids are like loving it. So we did make a curriculum change, and I think I have finally found something that works for us, which is a huge relief, because I am so tired of crying during school because my kid is frustrated and crying, and then I'm discouraged and crying because school should be fun and no kid should have to struggle to learn how to read or to learn how to do math. I just don't think that school needs to be hard. It should be fun and entertaining, and our kids should be able to learn without, you know, breaking down into tears every 30 seconds, or, you know, their schoolwork taking too long because the curriculum is just trying to require a kid to do too much. So we finally found something that I'm keeping my fingers crossed so hard that it will actually work for us. So yeah, that's like a complete rabbit trail, and I apologize for that, but maybe someone else out there is homeschooling their kids and they would like to know. So it is possible. It's not impossible to homeschool your children if you have kids. I promise you could do it if you really wanted to. But anyways, getting back to the book talk. So I have 3 options for books that I could pick up in the next few days. Two of them are sci-fi. So I have The Song Rising by Samantha Shannon, which would be a reread for me, which I might actually go for because it is a reread, so I don't have to think so hard about it, which would help as we transition back into school time, and not like my brain is like more focused on school than, you know, it was when we weren't doing school. So my brain is like in teacher mode all the time. So relaxing and sitting down and reading like a brand new book, or, you know, something that's a little bit harder to understand, like the Bring Up the Bodies is, because of the context that it's written in. Maybe a reread would be good for me to do right now. I'm just not really sure, but I have been super in the mood for science fiction. So this is the third book in the science fiction series, The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and I am rereading it in preparation for reading the fourth book that came out earlier this year in that series. So this is an option for me. Another science fiction option I'm looking at is Children of Dune by Frank Herbert. This is the third book in the Dune series by him. This one, I probably am not going to pick this one up, but it is an option, so I thought I would talk about it. This is, you know, science fiction, but it's not necessarily like something that's really easy to understand. I would say it's probably on the same like reading level as Bring Up the Bodies is. It's a little bit, you know, dense. The writing's a little bit harder to understand because it's just not written like in a modern way. So, which is fine because that serves the purpose of the setting. Like in the Dune series, the writing is just as much part of the setting as like the world building is. So the writing is really important and very specific to the series, and I do appreciate that. That's like one of the big draws for the series, for me anyways, that it is so unique and different from everything that I have been reading, you know, basically my entire life, other than like, I'm thinking like The Lord of the Rings might be something that, you know, it's a little bit different, a lot different than, you know, like contemporary writing styles that we have now. So this is another option that I'm looking at. I might pick this one up. I'm leaning very heavily toward The Song Rising, just because one, it's a reread, and two, it's a little bit easier to understand than I think Children of Dune is going to be. So this is one of my options. And then if I decide not to pick up a science fiction book, I will be going with A Time of Courage by John Gwynne. This is the final book in his A Blood and Bone trilogy, and it's beastie. It's really big. It's adult fantasy. I am looking forward to and also dreading this book all at the same time, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit brutal and it's going to hurt my feelings a little bit, and that's fine. Like, I wouldn't be able to emotionally connect with the story if it didn't hurt my feelings a little bit, and if I wasn't a little bit scared for the characters. Like, is it really even a good story if it doesn't do those two things? So, yeah, those are like my options. So we have The Song Rising, Children of Dune, and A Time of Courage for my, you know, reading choices over the next week. I don't know which one I'm going to pick up, so I guess you guys will have to watch next week's reading update to see which book I have decided on, and also if I finish Bring Up the Bodies or not. So that's pretty much it for this reading update. I'm trying to keep my videos short and sweet lately because everybody's busy. Like, we're getting to the tail end of summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, and people are just wanting to get all of their activities done before, you know, school gets started back up in the next couple of weeks, and you know, the sun disappears for like the next 8 months, it feels like, at least where I live. Like, it hardly, like, winter is like the gloomiest season around here. Like, you'll get your rare days where the sun is out, but then you just can't see anything because it's like glaring off the snow and you're like blinded. I think I use my sunglasses more in the winter than I do in the summer, which makes no sense. But seriously, if the sun is shining on snow, it's so bright. Like, my eyes hurt so bad. Anyways, that is enough of me rambling. I really don't have any life. Wait, actually, I do have a life update. So this is like super adulty life update, but a couple of weeks ago, my husband hit a deer on his way to work and totaled our car. So that's super fantastically fun. Notice the eye roll. It's super great. The issue with that is it was our only vehicle. So like, we only have one car. I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm a homeschool mom, and I literally don't really go anywhere. So we just have, for the longest time, we've just had one vehicle. I mean, it just economically doesn't make sense for us to really have two, except for now that our children are getting older and they're wanting to go places and do extra things. We have been talking about getting a second vehicle, like something for me to, you know, basically sit in the driveway and then just be ready when I needed to use it or wanted to use it. So we've been dealing with like, you know, the car insurance and whatever, trying to figure that out. We finally got that all situated. And then literally like last night, we went and drove to like a local car lot, and they sell like all used stuff, which is fine. Like, we're not looking for anything super fancy or expensive or anything. Like, we have a pretty limited budget. So, and I don't believe in financing cars. Maybe when I'm older, I'll feel like it. But right now I'm just like, nope, I just want to pay for it and be done. And I don't want to owe any money on it because it's going to get drove into the ground. And, you know, we live in Michigan, so it's going to probably rust out before the engine fails or whatever. So I don't believe in financing transportation, especially if it's going to sit in the driveway most of the time. Like, what's the point in paying monthly payments on a car that just sits in the driveway? So anyways, we drove to this lot last night and we drove two cars. The first car we drove, that was an adventure. I thought it was going to fall apart while we were test driving it. And then the second car we drove, I instantly fell in love with it. I was like, oh my gosh, I want this car. Like, it's within our budget and all of this great stuff. And I have what I call my resident mechanic. My dad he knows like all the car things you need to know. So hopefully on Monday we will go look at this car and my dad will give me the green light and be like, yep, you can buy this car. And I'll be like, shh. That will finally end this nightmare of not having a car. So we literally have not really had a car for like 2 to 3-ish weeks. That's how long this process has taken. It's been completely stupid. But so like my husband's been having to like borrow cars to get to work because he still has a job. He still has to go to work, and it's just been super stressful. So maybe that's why I'm not reading anything, because I'm just like stressed out to the max. Like, let's just do all of these life changes all at once. So just fingers crossed that this car works out. This video will be going up after I take my dad to go see this car. So hopefully by the next time my next reading update goes out, I'll be able to give you guys good news that we got a car. Hopefully. I just want to be done with this nightmare. So anyways, I really need to stop talking. I don't know if any of that interests you guys at all, and it was kind of like completely unrelated to like reading, but it is life, and I do like to incorporate a little bit of what's going on in my life on my videos, so you guys know I'm a real human and I'm not perfect. So anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or morning or week or whatever it is that you are doing, and I will see you in another video. Bye!